Alright, so you've been creating beautiful ceramics, pouring your heart and soul into every piece, but now that you're ready to sell, where do you actually begin? What are the exact steps? Starting to sell your handmade ceramics can feel overwhelming. There's so much to think about, from perfecting your work to finding your customers and even handling the business side of things. But here's the good news: you don't have to have it all figured out all at once. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the very first steps to take. Simple, clear, and practical steps to help you get started with confidence, build a business you love, and start sharing your art with the world. Whether you want to sell just a few pieces on the side or grow a full time studio, this is your roadmap to making it happen. Ready? Let's jump in. At this point, I hope you have already evaluated your readiness and concluded that yes, you are ready. Your pieces are consistently high quantity, you have received positive feedback from others outside of family and friends, you can replicate your best pieces reliably, you do need the tools and space to produce in small batches. Even a small home studio can work, but you'll need enough room and tools and access to a kiln to fulfill a few orders or stock a market table. The first step is to identify your why. Understanding your motivation is the first step, which will eventually help guide all your business decisions. So, before you rush into building a website or setting up a stall at a local market, pause for a second and ask yourself this one question: why do I want to sell my ceramics in the first place? Your answer will shape every decision you take from here on. Is this a creative side hustle? Maybe you love your day job, but ceramics is your me time. You want to share your pieces with others, bring in a little extra income, and enjoy the satisfaction of seeing your work in other people's homes. If that's your why, you can build something sustainable without the pressure of scaling too fast. Or maybe you are dreaming big. You want this to grow into a full time business. You imagine waking up every morning, heading into your own studio, shipping out orders, maybe even teaching or hosting workshops one day. Maybe that's your why: freedom. Or it could be a simple desire to do something meaningful, to create beauty with your hands and share it with the world. Or maybe it's community. You love connecting with others through your work, hearing their stories, being part of their homes, their celebrations. Selling becomes a way to meet people who love handmade just as much as you do. There's no right or wrong reason to sell your ceramics, but you need to know your reason. Because when things get overwhelming, when that glaze ruins your best piece, or no one shows up at your booth, it's your why that keeps you grounded. So grab a notebook and write this down. Why do I want to sell my work? Write the first thing that comes to your mind, then ask again, why does this matter to me? And keep digging until it feels real. Trust me, that clarity, that's gold. Next is to research your market. Now, step one of your research is to study what's already out there. Start by looking at what other ceramic artists are already offering, especially those whose work feels similar to yours in style, mood, or aesthetic. Ask yourself, what type of products are they known for? What colors, forms, or finishes show up often? What seems to be selling well? This isn't about copying, it's about understanding the landscape so you can position yourself thoughtfully. That said, keep in mind every market, every location, every event, every season attracts a slightly different type of customer with their own tastes and preferences. This research isn't about finding one perfect answer, it's simply a starting point to help you choose a direction and begin moving forward instead of staying stuck in overwhelm and indecision. Part two of the research is to notice the details that matter. Go a bit deeper. Look at their pricing. What's the range? What's included at higher price points? Look at their branding. Is it earthy, rustic, modern, sleek, minimal, playful, colorful? Check out their packaging and customer experience. Do they include care cards, thank you cards? Are the boxes beautiful? How are they packaged? These little touches give you clues about how they create value and how you can do the same in your own way. Step three is to identify your ideal customer. This is key. Who is your work for? Who will light up when they see your mugs and vases? Is it someone who enjoys cozy, slow living vibes? Someone who really appreciates the earthy tones and imperfect forms? Or somebody who's into modern minimalism and who wants clean lines and neutral tones? Think about their lifestyle, their home aesthetic, what they value. Is it functionality, storytelling, sustainability? The more clearly you can picture your ideal customer, the more easily you'll attract them through your branding, through your pricing, even photography, also the pieces you choose to make. Now, a quick word of caution here. It is really easy to get stuck in the research phase, trying to make sure everything is perfect and that we know all the things before taking the next step. If that sounds like you, let me remind you the real learning happens when you actually start doing. Don't let this phase become a hiding place. This research is meant to help you move forward with a bit more clarity and intention, not to keep you stuck in planning mode forever. Step three is to decide where to sell. Now that you know you are ready, you know your why, and you've done a bit of research on who your customers are, the next question is, where do you actually start selling your ceramics? The idea is to start simple. Should you launch a website, join a market, try Etsy? Now, the simplest answer is, where do your customers hang out? Let me try and break it down so you can choose the path that feels right for you. Okay, option one is your local markets or craft fairs. Now, local markets and craft fairs are, in my opinion, one of the best ways to dip your toes into selling. Why? Because they offer immediate feedback from real people. You get a chance to share your story face to face. There's an opportunity to see what sells and what doesn't. You do learn a lot just by watching how people interact with your work. So, if you're nervous about pricing, your packaging, and how to pitch your work, markets are a great testing ground. And obviously, the bonus is that you get a chance to connect with obviously your local creative community as well. A quick pro tip here: do your research before you go for a market. Who are the organizers? Where is it being held? Who are the other sellers? Is there a theme? What day is it on? I've already done a video on markets with a PDF guide. If you'd like to know more, I will link it below with the video. Option two is selling online. If you prefer to sell from the comfort of your studio or sofa, online platforms are a great option. Now, your main choices are obviously social media, Instagram, TikTok. They are great for building a following and offering, small batch drops. Then there's Etsy. Again, it's relatively easy to set up. It does come with some fees and a bit of competition. The third is your own website. You have a lot more control, better branding, but it does take time and effort to drive traffic. I think that's true for Etsy as well. Now, selling online gives you freedom and flexibility, but remember, it also means learning things like photography, shipping, customer service, and it is a steep learning curve. So start small and then scale up slowly. Option three is consignment or local boutiques. Now, if the idea of selling directly feels overwhelming, you might enjoy consignment or wholesale partnerships. What that means is placing your work in a local boutique or concept store, letting them handle the sales, and you're earning a percentage when your piece sells. This works beautifully if you prefer focusing on making, not marketing, but be sure, to read all the fine prints, the agreements, and also make sure that the shop or the store or the boutique aligns with your aesthetic and pricing standards. Remember, there's no one size fits all answer here. You can start with just one or try a combination to see what works best for you and your lifestyle. I personally started with Instagram and Facebook and then went on to build my website. Once the world opened up, I started doing the market. Next step is to price your work intentionally. Now, I've already done a whole video on how to price your work. I will again link it in the description so you can check it out. It's a lot more detailed and covers almost everything you need to know when it comes to pricing your work. Just remember, factor in your materials, time, overheads, and your desired profit. Also, research your market, but don't undervalue your work. Step five is to get the basics in place. All right, so now you've chosen where to sell. You've got a small product line you love, but before you open shop, post your first listing, or sign up for a market, there are a few essentials you need to have in place. These are very basic foundational details that make your small business feel, more trustworthy and ready to go. First is choose a name and visual identity. Start by deciding on a name. This could be your own name, it could be a studio name, or something meaningful that reflects your aesthetic or story. Keep it simple and easy to remember. And even if you're not ready for a fancy logo, choose a few colors and fonts to use consistently on your social media, price tags, thank you cards, packaging, everywhere. This is your visual identity. It makes your brand feel intentional and recognizable. Next step is to take quality photos of your work. Again, you do not need a fancy camera or expensive gear. A smartphone and good natural light go a long way in getting decent photographs. Photograph your pieces from multiple angles, again, front, side, stop, close up of details. If possible, photograph them in use, like a mug with coffee or a bowl in a table setting. These images aren't just for selling, they tell your story. They show the texture, the size, proportion, personality of all your pieces, and they help your buyers imagine how the work looks in their homes. Third is to prepare basic packaging. Even at the beginning, having thoughtful packaging makes a huge difference. It protects your work and creates a beautiful unboxing experience. Start with the basics. Your wrapping paper will be tissue, craft paper, bubble wraps, sturdy boxes that fit your pieces snugly, a thank you card or a care card with your name and contact information. It doesn't have to be fancy, it just has to be intentional. You want customers to open your package and feel like they've received something truly special, something of value. I'll share a quick look at my early packaging. I bubble wrapped my pieces and then covered it with a peach tissue paper and a jute twine and my Bisque brand tag. It was simple, thoughtful, and perfect for gifting. Step 4 of knowing the basics is to handle the legal stuff. Depending on where you live, you might need a few legal basics in place before you start selling. A local business license or registration, a sales tax ID, an understanding of income reporting, and possibly insurance if you're doing markets or selling wholesales. I know this part feels intimidating, but please don't let it stop you. You don't need to become like a tax expert overnight. Start small, do your research, and talk to other makers in your area if you're unsure. I can't really advise you on these since these regulations vary from country to country and state to state within the same country. So it's best to speak to someone who's already done it in your area or who's an expert. Now, these steps aren't just about looking professional, these are about feeling prepared. When your name, packaging, photographs, paperwork are in place, you'll step into a sale with a lot more confidence and clarity. Step 6 is to start sharing your work. Okay, I know this part can feel scary. You've made your first pieces, you're thinking about selling, but here's something that changed everything for me when I was starting out. Start sharing your work now. Not when it's perfect, not when you've made 100 pieces, not when you feel ready, right now. In my opinion, Instagram is an incredible platform for ceramic artists. It's where your collectors, interior designers, shop owners, handmade lovers hang out. But don't overthink it. Start simple. Share a behind the scenes look at your process. A shelf of finished mugs fresh from the kiln, a messy table after glazing session, a story about why you made a particular piece and what inspired it. Remember, people aren't just buying pottery, they are connecting with you, your story. Let them into your studio. Let them see the slow, beautiful, imperfect magic of pottery. When I first started, I had no studio, just some basic tools, a corner in a spare room, and a phone. But I shared my process anyway. That's how my first collectors found me. That's how I built that trust, and that's how I eventually grew a business. Another important step is to build an email list early. Most artists wait way too long to start building their email list, and that includes me as well. But your email list, that is your safety net. It's how you reach people even if the algorithm changes or Instagram disappears tomorrow. Again, start small. Add your friends and family who bought from you or supported you. Collect emails at markets or through DMs. Add a link in your bio that says, get studio updates or be the first to shop new pieces. Don't worry about fancy software. Use a simple free platform like MailChimp or ConvertKit. What matters is starting now. Trust me, your future self and your future customers will thank you. Again, remember, you don't need to be famous or have everything figured out. You just need to show up and start. Every post, every email, every shared moment builds trust and connection. And trust, that's what leads to your first sale. I've also included a little checklist to help you go through these steps, and I will obviously link it below in the description. So that's it. The very first steps to take when you're ready to start selling your handmade ceramics. Remember, start small, stay consistent, and allow yourself to learn as you go. Every successful pottery business you admire started right where you are now, with a single piece, a single post, a single sale. So trust your journey and know that it's okay to take just one small step at a time. If this video helped clarify the starting point for you, be sure to give it a thumbs up and leave a comment and let me know what stage you are in right now. I'd love to hear from you. And if you're wondering what comes after these first steps, don't worry, that's exactly what I'll be covering in the upcoming videos. We'll talk about finding your ideal customer, choosing where to sell, building your brand, and a lot more. So make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out what's coming next. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.